Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Let's put your hands together. Good morning. I'm Dr. Roger Mitchell Jr., professor of pathology here at Howard University. I'm also the chief medical officer for Howard University's faculty practice plan, our ambulatory care center, as well as the medical director for the Howard University Center of Excellence on Trauma and Violence Prevention. And on behalf of our leadership here at Howard University, our president, Ben Vinson, our dean of the College of Medicine, Dr. Andrea Hayes Dixon, Dr. Hugh Mighty, and the executive director of the centers, Dr. Shalewa Noel. Welcome to the Howard University Centers of Excellence. We are 5 centers: the behavioral health, oral health, women's health, and trauma and violence, as well as sickle cell, all supported by DC Health. So please give a round of applause for the impact that the city is having. I want to thank our mayor, Muriel Bowser, for her consistent support, not only of this university, but for our people and for our community. Today we come together to celebrate yet another collaboration between Howard University and our great city, the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program, and the work of one of our favorite programs, the Young Doctors Project, led by our own Malcolm Woodland, who's also a proud Howard alum. Give him a round of applause. Before I introduce our CEO of Howard University Hospital and a special guest, surprise guest that I'll be introducing, I'll be remiss if I did not acknowledge the leadership at the faculty practice plan, which is our CEO, our new CEO, Daffodil Baez, as well as our new COO, Mr. Vincent Orange Jr. The Howard, give them a round of applause. In fact, the faculty practice plan joined DOES, and we'll be starting a project with them that we support 12 students from area high schools that receive 6-week classroom education, and they'll be getting apprenticeship in things like revenue cycle management and medical terminology, field experience, all to create an environment so that they're the future of the workforce of healthcare here in the District of Columbia. So give that a round of applause. I want to introduce our CEO, our not-so-new CEO of Howard University Hospital. I want to give her bio, and then we're going to go straight into our special guest. Miss Anita Jenkins joined our as Chief Executive Officer in 2020. She holds an MBA from Walden in Minneapolis, Minnesota. She has a bachelor's degree from Everett University, and she loves health and providing healthcare leadership in this country. She is a part of many organizations like the American Heart Association, the March of Dimes. She currently serves as the vice chair for the DC Hospital Association and on the boards of the American Hospital Association, Kettering Health, and serves as a member of Essential Hospitals. But before we get to our CEO of HUH, the surprise has already been revealed because he's on the video screens right behind us. A DC native son, a proud SYP member, and you see him here, Oscar Award winner, actor extraordinaire. Y'all better put your hands together like he can hear you over the virtual airways. Our own Mr. Jeffrey Wright.
Thank you for that. Wishful thinking, not Oscar winner just yet, but I appreciate the thoughts. Welcome, everyone. I'm so pleased that I could talk to you today about the Summer Youth Employment Program. I couldn't be more thrilled that Mayor Bowser has invited me today to make some remarks. Thank you to her and thank you to everyone involved. The Summer Youth Employment Program is a meaningful one for so many young Washingtonians, including myself. I got my first job through Marion Barry's Summer Youth Employment Program back in 1982 when the program was very young, celebrating 45 years this year, which is incredible. I worked at Douglas Pool over in Anacostia in the locker room when I was about 15 years old, and that was the start to my working life. It opened up just so many possibilities for me that summer. The primary being making a little cash, which was always useful, but it also just was the beginning of lessons and responsibility that I carry with me to this day. Formative time spent then, and also the following summer when I had the opportunity to work in the administrative offices of the program. That was even more gratifying for me because I had a chance to connect young people to jobs, many like myself that prior year for the very first time, and the opportunity to provide income for the summer and to these young people, and also to provide them the opportunity for responsibility, the opportunity to be accepted in the workplace. That was just a wonderful, wonderful experience that summer, and one I will never forget. I just want to say thank you to the Summer Youth Employment Program. It was the beginning of so much for me. It has stayed with me. In fact, there are people that I met that first summer that I have referenced in characters that I have played. But I look forward to this program continuing to flourish. I look forward to it providing greater opportunities for more young people in DC at a critical time in their lives. And I just wish you all the best. And thank you for having me. Marion Barry's Summer Youth Employment Program, carry on.
Thank you, Mr. Jeffrey. That testament says it all. Good morning. My name is Anita Jenkins, and I am the CEO and president of Howard University Hospital. I'm delighted to be here to participate in this wonderful event on the campus of Howard University. I would like to acknowledge again Mayor Muriel Bowser, DOES, DC officials, DC health members, Howard University and Howard University Hospital leadership, of course, Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Robert Linton, our Chief Nursing Officer, Dr. Indian Medley, our Vice President, Blaine Gentry. I would like to acknowledge, it's a lot, now I'd like to acknowledge our Young Doctors Program leadership. Thank you so much. The young doctors who are here and invited guests for being in attendance today to support such an integral part and an integral program in Washington, D.C. Doctors save lives, but their importance goes far beyond that. Physicians, healthcare providers also make a difference by helping patients, changing families and communities to thrive. The Young Doctors Program is a program that provides young men opportunities for mentoring, education, and access to medical professionals. We're proud to offer our support to this program and the youth program for such an innovative and daring endeavor. Howard University Hospital has always been on the cutting edge of providing high-quality healthcare and education to everyone. The Young Doctors Program project is aligned with this mission, and Howard University Hospital has supported the Summer Youth Program for over 30 years. Yep. The pandemic taught us that we've got a long way to go to meet the needs of medically underserved communities. In addition, more doctors are needed to address the physician workforce shortage in the nation to eliminate disparities. To the young doctors who have volunteered at Howard University and Howard University Hospital, shadowing our physicians and other healthcare professionals, I implore you, take advantage of this time. You are receiving an invaluable experience, and I can feel the love and support from all of our leaders and certainly from our city. They care for you, and they want you to be a success in your future. If we are able to encourage, motivate, nurture, and propel more young people to join the ranks of becoming healthcare providers and other professions in Washington, D.C., we can potentially save lives in many ways for many people in our community. We look forward to continuing and deepening our relationship with the Young Doctors Project, the Department of Employment Services, the Summer Youth Employment Program, and the Mayor's Office as we work together toward eliminating health and workforce disparities in Washington, D.C. Thank you. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Michael Brown, our future Dr. Michael Brown. He is a DC Young Doctors member for 3 years. He is a proud senior of the School Without Walls. That's what he said, do it like the School Without Walls. And in 2023, he was nominated Young Doctor of the Year. Put your hands together. Thank you very, very much.
Good morning, DC.
Yeah, good morning.
My name is Michael. I am a senior at the School Without Walls High School and with the Young Doctors Project. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, a wonderful morning, and enjoyed that gift of snow we got last week. Oh yeah, I'm a high schooler. I love a gift of snow. It's very welcome. But I'm still a high schooler, and I have a long way to go. And Lord knows that. But in all seriousness, I want to thank the Department of Employment Services. That was my first job, like many native Washingtonians. And it gives the community a stable access to society. I want to thank the Young Doctors DC program and Dr. Malcolm Wilden especially.
Absolutely.
It's like a second family to me. Every member is like a brother to me. I want to thank the Mayor's Office for being here and showing support for the youth of DC and the future of the world. I want to thank the Mecca, the one and only HU. Still remember my first day on campus. I just felt the black excellence everywhere on this campus. And finally, and most important to me, I want to thank my parents.
Oh. There it is.
They walk so I can run, but that don't mean I can't look back and appreciate them. Now, without further ado, I like to set the scene. I want to really establish what makes programs like this so important to DC as a community and a family. It's more important than just government buildings, museums, and a giant pencil in the middle of a swamp. DC is the beating heart of our nation. And without it, programs like Young Doctors, it becomes the bleeding heart of our nation. Each and every person in the city works in a complex system that remains in harmony. And my job in that system is being a young doctor. The Young Doctors Project, for those who don't know, is a program who gives young men of color a unique opportunity to be great. At Young Doctors, we teach life-saving skills that will not only be helpful in the medical field, but in our communities and our families. In my time in the Young Docs family, I have learned how to take blood pressure and blood sugar. I've learned how to suture a wound and proper first aid. I've learned that how high blood pressure can be a silent killer and how it causes it, what makes it so dangerous. And most importantly, I learned how to do CPR. Learning CPR is a skill that no one ever wants to use, but it's very glad that they knew at the time. I was glad I knew it when I did. On my way to school one Tuesday morning, I had to use the skill in the DC Metro. I remember it was a Tuesday morning because I had a math test first period that I dreaded taking. At my stop, I was waiting for my doors to open, and then when I saw an older man drop his phone. Normally, I'm the type of person to pick it up and be on my way and give it back to him to be on my way. I'm not gonna steal it. But when I looked at the man, I clearly saw that he was having a medical emergency. He was seizing, which I contribute to the Young Doctors Program again for helping me recognize symbols or the symptoms. When the metro doors opened, people started to take notice of the man, and I knew I had to do something because everyone was just standing there unsure about their next moves. I told a woman to immediately go press the emergency stop button. I told another man to go get an AED, to varying degrees of success, and I began to try to move a man on the ground by myself, which was a bad idea. Another man on the train helped me get him down, but then, I'll spare you the nasty bits, but he started to puke, and if I didn't turn him on the recovery position, which is turning him on side, he would choke. So I turned on to recovery position, and then while he was getting all out, I realized how nervous I was. A man was dying right in front of me. I was going to be late to school, and I had to act fast because those seconds mattered. So the train conductor was nowhere to be seen, and once again, I knew I had to do something. I didn't get long to think. I didn't get long to think before also another woman kept telling me to stop touching him. Sometimes comments need to be ignored. I then rolled the man on his back, and when he was done, and I checked his pulse. And then I realized there was some real trouble because there wasn't one. Without much thought, I started compressions and tried to calm my nerves as much as I could. About 2 minutes later, the train conductor came, and he didn't have an AED in his hand, so that made me even more nervous. But then he saw what was going on, and everyone had gathered, so he quickly went to go get one. And then I just kept doing my thing. And so, like 5 minutes later, a nurse from another car came in, and then right after that, an AED came with her and took over right after me. I know that's a crazy story, and believe it or not, it was still an unexcused absence.
From the school.
In all seriousness, moments like these happen all the time, and sometimes there isn't someone there that knows what to do. I'll be forever grateful that I did know what to do at that time.
Yeah.
Every life is a gift, and saving one is the ultimate achievement. I never learned the guy's name, nor rather know what happened to the guy after. Wow. But he lucked out because he was at Foggy Bottom near the George Washington Hospital. My story is one of many in this city, and one of the things I'm most proud of myself for. The Young Doctors Project is a fantastic organization that's a second home to many young boys. Our summer sessions at Howard campus have made me lifelong friends that I consider my brothers. I will go as far as to say that being a young doc is one of the best decisions you will ever make, and it's certainly one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's a lifelong commitment as well as a long-term investment into yourself. It'll always be a guilty pleasure of mine to watch the other young docs flourish in their environments and grow out of their limits. Programs like these wouldn't be possible without the fantastic people that have helped build it. Speaking of, now I would like to welcome our esteemed mayor, Miss Muriel Bowser, to the stage.
I'm so proud of you. Oh, man. I'm so proud. Outstanding story.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's hear it for our young Doc Michael. Give him a big round of applause. That is indeed an inspiring story, and it is also true that we could at any point be a first responder. So it's important that our young docs and all of us learn hands-on CPR so we too can help our fellow Washingtonians. Dr. Mitchell, it's always great to be in your presence and always great to be at Howard University. So thanks for having us. I speak to you today on behalf of all the residents of DC, the DC government, and also Director Unique Morris Hughes, who leads our Department of Employment Services. Please give a hand to your public servants. I want to recognize and thank Ms. Jenkins, who's the CEO of Howard University Hospital, and we are very proud to be partners with the university in supporting the centers of excellence that are focused on chronic disease and conditions that keep Black Washingtonians from enjoying the longevity that our counterparts enjoy in Washington, D.C. We think it is our duty to increase life expectancy in Washington. 15 years is a long time. And that's the difference between how long the average white woman lives in Ward 3 and the average black man lives in Ward 8. 15 years is a lot of life. And we know when we can improve chronic conditions medically and socioeconomically, we not only improve the length of life, but the quality of life. And that is the whole point of the Centers of Excellence. I also want to recognize Dr. Malcolm Woodland. Dr. Woodland, it's my pleasure to meet you and learn about these young doctors. And I'm pleased to use your program as a way to highlight for people watching what the Marion Barry Summer Youth Program is. It is a collection of great programs and employers who raise their hand and say, I'm committed to have an enriching experience for young people where I'm teaching them something in particular, but I'm also teaching them how to work. I'm teaching them how to dream. I'm exposing them to different occupations, what it is to do the occupation, what it takes to become a doctor or a nurse or a medical professional. Maybe I'm teaching them what they earn. I'm teaching them about the loans that they may have to take out. I'm teaching them all of these lessons, and I'm packing it into 6 weeks during the summer, and in some cases, our year-round programs. Children have the opportunity to have this exposure throughout the year. It should be obvious, but maybe it's not, that a person does not come out of the womb knowing about different occupations. They have to be exposed. They have to learn. In some cases, that exposure tells them exactly what they want to do when they grow up. And sometimes it shows them exactly what they don't want to do when they grow up. And both are valuable experiences. So you heard that the Young Doctors Program has been a host site, which means they're a host employer for 10 years. And their partnership with the district extends beyond summer employment. It is a commitment to mentorship, education, and creating a vital pipeline for our summer youth. Young Doctors has been instrumental in offering guidance to boys of color in Washington, D.C., and we are glad you're back on board in 2024. Let's give them another round of applause. So we have other programs, of course, in the city that are preparing our young people, and we talk about health programs a lot. Because it is one of our growing industries in the district, and it is industry for which we're always seeking workers. We go literally, Unique, you know this, around the world to find nurses, right?
Yes.
We can't keep nurses in our schools, not because we don't have the money and we don't want them, because there are not enough of them. So literally, we want our young people, and we have partnerships with our high school, like at Coolidge, and others that are focused on the health professions and all the ways that we can support that through our summer youth program and our advanced technical center, and all of the programs at our institutions of higher education are important. We're also, the fire chief is very, very focused on a paramedic university. We're looking at for a host site, hint, hint, Howard University, that will help us. Am I right, Unique? We're looking for a host university that will help us train paramedics. So let's hear it for our beautiful young EMS cadet right here. So part of why we've invested over $65 million into MBSYEP since 2015 is because we know it's a good investment. You saw Jeffrey Wright on the screen, a wonderful Washingtonian who I understand his latest film is, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to see it, American Fiction. We have to go and support Jeffrey. And I heard recently about his summer youth experience and why it was such a formative experience for him. Now, he's no longer working in pools, as he explained to you was his first job. But you see, he made lifelong friends. He drew on his experiences, and I'm sure it taught him the stick-to-itiveness that is needed to be successful in Hollywood. So we know as well that to date, our Mayor's Opportunity Scholarship that I started when I became mayor helps our graduates with post-secondary education to ensure that they have a little extra bonus that you need when you go to college. And thus far, we've awarded 552 scholarships totaling over $1.5 million. And so this year, sounds like Dr. Morris Hughes has been busy because we get to increase the scholarship to $4,500 for 5 students who are pursuing a healthcare industry career. In addition, DOES is also leading another important new program. We announced it earlier with Dr. Vincent and Dr. Eddington, the HBCU Public Service Program, which will be even more phenomenal because we want to hire Howard University students into DC government. And we want to do this program. The applications open on February 1st. And we know that Howard University graduates, UDC graduates, have a lot of opportunities before them, but we want you to check DC government first. See, Dr. Mitchell used to work for DC government. And so we also want you to know that now is the time to get ready for DPR summer camp. We will have that sign up launching on Monday, February 12th. It is a lottery system, so check out the different sites that you're interested in so you can sign up and be alerted when your match has been made. So that's a lot to say, but it's time to get ready for summer. I know it's very cold outside, but it's time to get ready for summer, or summer youth employment, summer camp. And many kids will have the opportunity, notice I say opportunity, for summer school as well, because there are enrichment, we call them earn and learn opportunities, so you don't have to pick between a summer job and enrichment, but you can do them all together. So with that, I'm going to ask Dr. Morris Hughes to come up. We're going to see a demonstration, and then I'll be able to answer a few questions.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. I promise to be very, very, very brief this morning. It's an exciting day. 45 years of legacy, of opportunity, and we're not just celebrating the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program, but I've been saying this, and this year will be my mission to make sure it's not the best kept secret in DC, but the Marion Barry Youth Leadership Institute. Can I get a round of applause of MBYLI? What we know about Mayor Marion Barry is that he was very committed to young people. He believed in a career of public service, but he also believed in giving all young people an opportunity, which is why we're excited to be celebrating 45 years. Now, it's not just 1 or 2 people that make this MBSYEP program happen. This past year, we had over 700 host sites support us in this mission. I have an amazing staff that makes sure that not a single payroll is missed. Very, very, very important. So I want to thank you. So I want to acknowledge the amazing staff at the DC Department of Employment Services who make this magic happen, and it really is a machine. Just a few other points to offer. So often we hear about, more recently, we hear about young people in the news, but I'm here to share the good news that we have a lot of young people standing behind me that are in this room today, that are in classrooms, that are doing the right thing. And many of them have an opportunity to be in the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program, the Marion Barry Youth Leadership Institute, the DC Department of Employment Services pre-apprenticeship program, working at Howard University Hospital, and they're also at DPR. This is an opportunity for us to celebrate young people. If you are a young person in this room, give yourselves a round of applause. I have the benefit of seeing young people every single day who come in and out of DOES that are doing the right thing. And I'm so happy for you all. I'm proud of you. And this is going to be a phenomenal summer. Now, Mayor Bowser, I have been busy because we have this scholarship that you started. And it's this year, every student's going to get $4,500 in honor of the 45th anniversary, and 5 students will get $20,000 who are interested in pursuing an education in health and the sciences. Former Mayor Barry earned his master's degree in chemistry at Fisk. And so in honor of his education and his legacy, we wanted to make sure that any young person who wants to pursue either a bachelor's or master's degree in health or sciences will have an opportunity to do that in his legacy and his name. So that will be 5 scholarships in the amount of $20,000. We're excited. The application opens today. Don't call me, don't call the mayor, don't call Director Freeman and say, oh, I missed the deadline. You've got to apply. You have got to apply. These opportunities don't just sit. We have people that want these opportunities. You have got to apply. You've got to certify. Certification ends March 6th. Don't apply and then say, oh, but I didn't have. Go get it. Yeah. You got time. Go get it. These opportunities are life-altering and life-changing. You can see Jeffrey Wright, who worked at DPR in a swimming pool, but now is an acclaimed actor, writer, producer. Anything is possible, especially in MBY Lion, the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program. The application opens at 12 noon.
Awesome.
Make sure you apply. Summerjobs.dc.gov. If you're interested in the year-round pre-apprenticeship program, you're a student, check us out at does.dc.gov. Look for apprenticeships because there's opportunities there. It's going to be an amazing summer, y'all. So now I'm going to ask the young people who are going to do the demonstration. Who's going to do our demonstration here before we go to Q&A? You're going to do the demonstration. Okay. All right. So we're going to have our young doctor do a demonstration. And then come on up here. And then, Mayor, after that, we're going to go to Q&A. Application opens at 12 noon, summerjobs.dc.gov. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. They need to go get their blessings.
That's right. Okay, so do you want to maybe give a voiceover of what you're going to be doing?
There it is.
Good morning, everyone. We have the young docs here, young doc Michael Brown, who you've already met, and one of our other young doctors, Mr. Lawson, president. They're going to show you just some of the things that they've learned at Young Doctors during the summer. One thing in particular is the hands-on CPR, which, as Michael showed you, is a really, really important life-saving skill. So, gentlemen, you all can take it away and just talk a little bit about what you're doing, talk about the compressions, talk about how many compressions you're going to do, talk about where you're going to place your hands, opening up the air and opening up the airways. And I'll try and turn the microphone towards you. There you go. Speak loud. Speak loud.
I know the first thing you do is you always check the scene, make sure it's safe, and after that, you call 911. That's the priority. After that, you check the scene. You want to make sure that, well, we check the scene because you want to make sure there's nothing that's going to obstruct you or stop you from doing the distraction. But also after that, you want to, after the scene, you got to make sure if the person has a pulse. So you usually check right below, near the neck area, right here. Usually, if you don't feel a pulse, you want to start chest compressions as fast and as well. You want to start compressions as quick as you can. The optimal hand position, you want to put your non-dominant hand out, your dominant hand right after that, You want to lean over and you want to push. Well, with these dummies, they're going to click.
And you do 30 compressions, 30 compressions, and then you check.
Yeah, 30 compressions.
They want to make sure it works. Real life.
Okay, so let's pretend that I'm like doing it really hard. But when you guys are doing really hard, they say if you're not breaking the rib, you're not doing it right. So, okay, we're good. All right. So 30 compressions, like Lawson said, and you want to check the pulse.
Tilting the head up.
Yes.
And that's where you do your mouth to mouth. Usually there will be like protectors just for like safety precautions, like mouth to mouth. And then you repeat the cycle until emergency services come.
Also call an AED.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like the shock thing. That it tells you the directions, but that's the shock thing. You usually put it. You can either put it on the front and the back. I've seen people do that, but you can also put it on the right shoulder or left. I think. Yeah, right shoulder and then left on the side. That will help jumpstart the heart so it's like a shock. But yeah, that's like first aid. You keep doing compression as long as you can. Make sure you try to find someone that can switch out with you, because you can't do chest compressions forever. That's a very tiring way. Yeah, it's really tiring. But yeah, you want to get someone to switch out as much as you can. The optimal time frame, you want to be doing it for like 2 to 3 minutes, because if you start getting tired of 4 to 5 minutes, then you can start having lesser quality compressions, and that can end up being more harmful than helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, young doctors. Okay, I'll take a few questions. Any questions? Press questions? Yes. Yes.
Good morning, Mayor Bowser.
Good morning.
With budget season coming up, what consideration have you given to increasing the compensation, particularly for the young people on the lower end of the spectrum, given the fact that there is a bit of competition out there between these jobs and more of like your retail jobs that young people might find more lucrative?
Let me ask Dr. Morris Hughes to talk about compensation.
Sure. So this year, as minimum wage goes up, our 22 to 24-year-olds will receive or do receive minimum wage. I know it will be above $17 an hour, and that is a competitive wage. Now, I want to remind folks that the opportunities that we provide are life-changing, life-altering. Retail work is very valuable as well, but you get exposure, you get mentorship, and you have an opportunity to earn a few dollars. Also, you're not able to work under the age of 16. So these opportunities we're providing young people are supportive employment, and you do earn a modest wage, but it is life-altering, like you saw Jeffrey Wright talk about.
Yeah, sure.
My follow-up question is in regards to year-round employment and year-round programs. If you can delve into the status quo right now, so as far as how many young people can explore opportunities like this year-round, and what's the possibility of expanding upon that for as many young people as possible, especially given our current crisis?
So we have over 1,000 young people right now that are in our year-round internship program. And we'll continue to look at our numbers and see what's possible in terms of expanding. Also, we run a pre-apprenticeship program where we have about 50 young people, and I believe these are young people in the Howard University sweatshirts that participate in high schools from across the district, both DCPS and charter. And then our MBY Live program has 400 young people. So I would say we have a strong showing of supportive youth employment that happens year-round in the district.
The question, Mark?
Is there a cap on how many students you guys can take? Do people get turned away because you don't have enough spaces?
So we're budgeted to serve about 12,000 young people this year in the SYEP program. And so that's why it's important that everyone submits their application on time and completes the certification process. But 12,000 is our number that we serve.
Mayor Bowser, can you remind us, I apologize that I forget, did you participate?
You know, I didn't. And people ask me all the time, and I'll tell you how I think it ended up happening. My first summer job was working as a tour guide on the Tourmobile. And it wasn't in the summer youth program, but I followed my brother to Tourmobile. And I did that job for most of my high school years.
Can you talk a little bit about, when we see Mr. Wright, in the beginning of the program, it was really about finding a job and finding some income and something productive for young people to do. It has transitioned into, as you say today, more of something that provides much more than just a job and a paycheck, but mentorship and in times a career path and opportunity to that. Can you talk about that transition and kind of why that trajectory is so valuable to this program?
Well, I think over the 45 years, and I think what we don't always appreciate in DC is that there really is no other program like this in the United States of America. And it is 45 years old. And so let's just think of the foresight of Marion Barry, all of the councils that supported the subsidized income for young people, and how the program has grown over the years. And just like any good program, it's going to evolve. It's going to support and serve the needs of the young people at the time. It's going to support, and I credit DOES and Dr. Unique Morris Hughes, is also going to serve our workforce needs. And so the alignment between what the young people need and what we need as a city and a region for workers is only going to come into sharper focus.
How has that increased from previous year? You said it's grown, obviously, in 45 years. I mean, that's a lot of people that you're able to accommodate.
It's basically, we are a government of about 37,000, okay, but DC government, that's big but we are city, county, state, school district, police department, DMV, all of that. So we serve local, county, and state functions. But think of it, it's 37,000 of us. They stand up 12,000. So that's, that's not, what is that? That's a lot. I can't do the percentages off the top of my head. Young doctors, what percent is that? It's a third-ish. Not quite, yeah. So a third of the government is stood up over the summer for 6 weeks. So everybody gets their assignments, and I think DOES has done a really great job of helping employers match with kids who are really interested to work for them. They are making sure they're getting their paychecks, transportation, and all of the needs that can present with preteens, teens, and young adults. Right? Is that a good way to say it? And having really great experiences. So we're highlighting today, and Dr. Morris Hughes will let me know if there continue to be opportunities for employers to sign up as host sites. Because we want really enriching experiences, and we really do count on employers for putting those great experiences together. And the kids will carry those experiences with them forever. Okay, anybody else? Yes. It feels really good, but it's bittersweet, as you might imagine. But having events like this and having ambassadors out there to talk about programs is helpful. I say bittersweet because we don't want secret programs. We want people taking advantage of them. And what we've learned over time is that some kids, some families need more navigation between their need and what's out there. And we have put those navigation services in place as well. I frequently say when I'm talking to the small business community that it's our job in the government to create opportunity. And it's your job to go out there and get the opportunities. And a lot of people, when it's their business, they make it their business to do that. Well, similarly, in the government, it's our job to kind of identify where there are gaps, to recognize the best ways to support families and kids, and then work with families to get into those programs and services. And as I said, over the years, we figured out better ways to connect so that they have enriching experiences. But you just heard one of our young men from one of our schools, from DC Public Schools, present a life-saving story. I thought he gave like a entry government level work presentation on the fly in front of the press. What do you think? And he's a senior in high school, all right? So we are producing fantastic kids. I want to give a big shout. We've heard already mentioned parents. Let's hear it for the parents of our young people. Yes, parents are raising kids in, challenging times. They have competition with social media. They have competition with, some like music out there that some of it's positive, some of it is not. And they have just a lot of competition for their attention. So parents working with schools to make sure that kids are loved, challenged, and engaged in a great activity is how we keep our kids on the right track. And just to emphasize, too frequently when I have to talk to you, it's about a negative experience with a child. And so many thousands more are doing all the right things, and we need to celebrate them too. Yeah. Okay, I'll take a few more. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Sure. Actually, I'm going to have to ask FEMS to get back to you. Their investigation, I think, is ongoing. We had a preliminary cause. The gas was shut down. We are working with the business owners. We know for sure that the convenience store and the child care facility can't go back. So our teams will see if we can help them get resituated. Mark.
Back to how many people, the director said there were 12,000 slots you're funded for this year. And the press release said last year you funded 14,000. So I'm wondering, was there a cut to budget this year? Or is there a reason that there would be 2,000 fewer opportunities this year than last year?
Yep, we had some slots that were funded with our ARPA, American Recovery Plan Act dollars. And I think everyone knows that we have returned back to some of the pre-pandemic level service levels. So that's the difference.
Those were federal dollars.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that.
Yep.
Forgive me, I have to circle back. I want to zero in on budget season and how do we go about expanding opportunities, year-round opportunities specifically. I heard 1,000, I heard 400, I heard 12,000, but there are many more young people than that in the city who are seeking opportunities. So what's the conversation around pouring more money into the budget to create more year-round opportunities for young people?
Well, I'll just give you a quick primer on our budget. We are about to enter into the phase where agencies submit recommendations to me. I formulate a balanced budget. I present that balanced budget to the council in March. Typically in February, I have a series of budget engagement forums where I take community input and I submit the budget. Part of the budgeting process is you get to spend what you have. And that is the competing interest that I will weigh before I send a budget to the council. We expect to get the next revenue estimate from the CFO in February, which will help shape a lot of my recommendations. So I can't say anything specifically about workforce training programs or any other programs for that matter, because they are all in the competition process. And when I make budgetary decisions, I'm trying to help the most people, the fastest, and take care of the priorities for the district, the strategic priorities of the district. Last question.
Do you have any thoughts about the volunteer that was killed over the weekend? You know, we talk about experiencing, and he's here, you know, helping people at risk youth. Any thoughts on that? Any update to the investigation?
I can't provide any police updates today, but I will say anytime somebody senselessly loses their life in the district, we want immediate accountability for it. And so if anybody has any information, please share it with MPD by calling 911. Thank you, everybody.